Welcome to the Squad Games Podcast. Squad Games Podcast.
So, Giacomo, I was struggling to figure out what we wanted to talk about today. You know, I had zero clue, because I have been like, really deep into something that I'm calling squad ops, and I've been working very diligently for the past pretty much 2 weeks, including time that I put in before, but I picked up the project again 2 weeks ago, and I haven't thought about much else. So what are we talking about today?
Oh, we have quite a few lists of things, which we will go over in just a moment, but I am excited for these conversations because they're fun topics. I'm excited for the things you just mentioned right now. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. And we have a guest with us today.
We do.
Yeah.
Hello.
We have go ahead, G.
Yeah, you're hearing the winner of Best Painted at the why can't I remember the tournament name right now?
Palm Springs Open.
There we go. I was going to say
Open.
Pacoima, but it's like that's not right.
Shout out Pacoima.
Shout out to Pacoima.
Yeah, and Matt, you took that event pretty handily, and Matt has also won multiple of our own painting contests. How many of our little trophies do you have, Matt, at this point?
I am sitting by one of those little like art carts that you can get, rolling art carts from Michael's, and I have two. Or my top layer is covered in different Squad Games trophies. It's one of my points of pride. I love it. I want to fill the whole cart.
Some might say that he's a Squad Games stan. I would not say that, but
I mean, definitely. My first tournament was the first All Valley.
Yeah.
Was it really? I actually didn't know what your first tournament was.
Yeah, my first tournament was the first All Valley. Y'all convinced me to go. I was like, I'm not doing tournaments. I'm not a tournament guy. And then Dakotah through Dakotah, actually all three of you urged me into making it happen. And I entered as a free blade, had a team. It was amazing. And I have not looked back since then.
Hell yeah.
It's
interesting. We like Matt. So I used to, in our first year of Squad Games, me, Giacomo, and Saya were trying to build the scene as much as we could. So we would go out to a bunch of different game stores. We'd try to do it weekly and meet with new people of the community and new members of the community, teach them how to play Kill Team, and tell them how awesome events were. Usually no one came to our events, but there was a slowly steady where people would. We would always tell them like, hey, if you could ever come to one event, just come to the All Valley, just give it a shot, Yep. I still hold true to that message because there's a lot of great opportunities to learn how to play the game at playing at events, because you're going to experience more games than you typically would in maybe a month or even longer if you live in a more rural area. If you live in LA, maybe still work or family might pull you aside, so you still might learn or play and learn the game way better than you would originally. So Matt's one of our success stories, pulling them through. And I think your first game was against Saya, right?
Not first game.
Okay.
But it was maybe second, third. I played my boy Alan first. Alan taught me the game.
Hell yeah. Alan. I remember because I was scrolling through, I think the Gameology Discord, looking for people, I still do that today. I literally have recruited a bunch of people just from other Discords. If anyone who's listening and you're one of those people, hello. Yes,
thank you.
I did. I look for you. I look for the lost souls in random Discords that no one communicates with. And I'm like, hey, there is another Discord for Kill Team. Why don't you come over to the Squad Games Discord? So there's a lot of just people that have come and gone or are brand new. And, it's been fun. It's been cool. And luckily, nowadays, I get to focus more on content creation and events, and I don't get to go to stores as much, which just sucks, but it's kind of like I've kind of shifted roles and to a different community leader rather than something that I used to do now. Giacomo is still running around, going to game stores, teaching people, doing stuff, but
doing the Lord's work.
He
doing
is.
the Lord's work. I'm a missionary.
Yeah. But he's also not like Giacomo has helped quite a lot with squad ops. Right. But, it's mostly me calling him and being like, hey, I'm fucking stuck here. I got to figure this out. Like, what do I make in this? How do I make this work? And then we'll kind of like workshop it together, and then it comes out better than I would do by myself. Right. So it's been a fun journey this far. And Matt, how's your journey come from, just wanting to play, like not at events, to kind of like going to the Pacific, to PSO, to Palm Springs Open, and taking that down with painting?
Oh man. Like I said earlier, I was planning on going to Gameology, learning this game from Alan, taking the rules back to my brother and my friend, and playing at home. And that obviously didn't happen. I met y'all, and y'all did a good job of spreading the gospel of playing in tournaments. So I went to All Valley. My wife came. She wasn't my wife at the time. My wife came. And like, she didn't play, but she checked it out. She saw it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was hooked. From All Valley, I was hooked.
I talked to her for quite some time too,
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And, she walked away liking you. So props. You know what I mean? Like, you did a good job of convincing my wife that I should stick around and kill team. As far as going further from there, I mean, I would, I'd miss a couple events, then I would catch one. And it's gotten to a point now where I feel really bummed if I miss on a squad games tournament or a kill team tournament that I can go to, but squad games in particular. If I can't make one, which I just today found out I might not be able to make the last narrative, and I'm like, it kills me because I just want to go to more tournaments. I love seeing the people that I've met. The second All Valley team tournament, we got to meet the Cellar Dwellers, mm-hmm. Who are some of my favorite people in the world. I mean, now I guess the final step. Well, the final step would be going to Worlds, right? Mm-hmm. But going to a GW Open finally after what it was, been 4 years. Has it been 4 years? Jeez. Going to a GW Open and just seeing like a GW tournament. Don't tell them, but I kind of like the squad games tournaments better. That was like the step up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, wow. That in LVO, it's amazing to go to huge events.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Games Workshop events are so unique and so interesting to like attend and just be a part of. Like they do a lot of things really, really great. And I do appreciate the high compliment of that. And I assume you mean mostly LVO. LVO is a very
well, first of all, sir, I did not mean mostly LVO.
Okay, all right.
The All Valley Team Tournament is if you go to one tournament in your life, or if you go to one tournament to get you into the scene, the All Valley Team Tournament is the best way to go. Even if you don't have friends to go with, if you don't have a team of 3, that's fine. You know what I mean? You'll come as a free blade. You'll make new friends. I would say that's the best way to get in.
Yeah, I would agree. It's interesting because, dude, there's so many times that I have conversations behind the scenes with other TOs. I've had conversations with people from the Bay Area, Canada and Oregon, Washington, most recently, about team events, right? And I find it really interesting. WTC is the other kind of is now the largest team event. We held the record for 3 years, and then WTC took over the largest team event in the world. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. I can accept defeat, at this point. But they have 5-man teams and stuff like that. And they have this different style, which is good, right? It's a very fun format, but it really kind of caters to the competitive side and the competitive scene, right? Much like the Duos event that I just attended, which is an awesome event if anyone's interested in doing like a Duos event. The Valentine's Day bash done by the Sin City Kill Team in Vegas. The All Valley really focuses on like having fun and kind of like a standardized competitive norm, not focusing on the competitive aspects or gaminess of stuff, you know? Giacomo, do you remember us coming up with the All Valley Team Tournament, just talking about it and like kind of like strategizing when we first started this whole thing? Yes. Like all of our stuff. You want to give us, you want to give like your side of like what we were doing, what we were talking about at that time?
Yeah. So you were really into like Cobra Kai. And you were like, what if we had like a team tournament? And then we talked logistics, and three seemed to be the perfect number. You come in with some friends. That was going to be our main pitch, because that was going to be our first time doing something that large. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like the quick notes of it that I can just kind of pull out of my head right now. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of promotion for it. Like we were talking about it nonstop. Like that was the thing to do, right?
Yeah, well, that was kind of like just our marketing strategy, like going forward, like as an events company, like starting up was just like, hey, well, firstly, it was Sheldon, Kill Team Stream was like, hey, I'm not doing LV anymore. Dakotah, do you want to do LVO? Had to have a conversation with my wife, and that started us down this whole journey. And then we had to practice to get there. But the big thing where me and Giacomo actually like really became a lot better friends in the first place is that we would attend these team tournaments for 40K.
Yes.
Right. And I saw all the bad things that they would do at these team events, you know, like, I attended, I think 2 different Dice Hammer events, one of which had unpainted terrain. This is probably when they were first starting team tournaments. There's no shade at you guys. It's just, you know, I was very like upset that I had to paint my entire army, and then I had to play with like sprayed gray styrofoam. I was like, what is this, 1999? You know, I was so fucking mad, you know, like that I do not come to events like for this, you know. And then we talked about this a couple times. We went to the LTT, which is bigger and better now than it used to be. And in fact, we might be joining LTT next year in a more competitive style of Kill Team tournament, team event, right, in January. But that's besides the point. Like, it was interesting because like there was like certain things that I just despised about how other people ran events. And I was like, I can do it better, right? And I was like, I found out that running events is very difficult. Getting stock for terrain and having that much terrain on hand, very difficult. And I can see why those companies and those people made the decisions they did. But I think one of the reasons why the All Valley is so successful is because we really kind of just push the envelope of like we won't lower our standards, and we just want to raise them each and every year, you know. And you know, me and Giacomo just love team events so much. It's just something easy to be passionate about, you know?
Yeah, team events, like the strongest thing you can do is go play games with your friends. You know, you never really have a bad time because you're with your friends. Mm-hmm. So if I could encourage that, just, you know, go to team events.
Mm-hmm. Can I just add something else that made that All Valley amazing? As a fan of painting, was the Forge Brush.
Oh yes,
the Forge Brush like really like turned me on to wanting to get better at painting, wanting to win things at painting. So yeah, I mean all the team tournament aspects, amazing. The fact that it's competitive but not sweaty, like you're having a ton of fun, perfect. And then if you are into painting at all, the Forge Brush, that it brings me a ton of joy to see how much that has grown over the years.
Oh, it's grown so much. It's insane. Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't finish my last thing. I talked to all these people and they were all going to run like the WTC kind of team event. And then I kind of like tried to tell them not to do it because of like, I'll go to the Forged Brush in a second. I told them not to do it because like the reason why WTC is so successful, right, is because you have like the sweatiest people in the world all want to travel to one event to have the best competitive event, best team competitive event that is possible, right? And that's a great thing, but it's not meant for everywhere, right? There's so many gamey aspects and specific things about the WTC that's not necessarily like community friendly, you know, especially for like smaller areas and trying to grow your scene, you know. It's very, you know, like I think it's important to try and remember that team events are supposed to be fun first and foremost, and those really, really competitive team events should probably be smaller in scope and size, you know, because you're less likely to have like 60 super highly competitive people in your area, you know, because I'm sorry, if you're just running a team event for your very first time, it's very unlikely that you're going to get a bunch of people to travel to your event, right? WTC's been around for years. They have a huge 40K following. It's really easy for them to convert to other systems compared to like if you're wanting to run a team event. It's easier to focus on the fun things and grow your community first, and then start to propose other team events that might be more competitive once you have a big enough scene, you know? But that's besides the point. To the Forge Brush, Matt, what you're saying, the Forge Brush is really interesting. It's really interesting because not a lot of people still know about it, even though we're having more participations than we ever have. There's no kind of like golden demon type painting competition for Kill Team specifically outside of the Forged Brush. And you walk home, the first place, like best overall, gets like a 9-pound anvil trophy. Like it's just a real anvil, you know, and it's it's pretty silly, but we did start at our very first year and we only had a couple entries, you know, we had probably like, I don't know, 12 entries across like 4 or 5 different categories, you know, maybe 15 entries. And then last year we had the most entries we've ever had at the All Valley. And then we brought it to LVO, and it was the first time showing it off at LVO. And we only had people who have known kind of what Forged Brush is, and then some people that walked by and was like, oh, a whole painting competition, let me join here and now, you know, for that was specifically Kill Team, because you have to have Kill Team models, yada, yada. Yeah, it's a really, it's interesting because the All Valley judges all of its painting competition, like the All Valley itself, as a team-based event, right? And then the Forged Brush is like singles, and you get to bring things that you typically wouldn't bring. Because like one of the things I thought about adding this year, Matt, to the Forged Brush, right, was just the Space Marine category, where you just bring a standard intercessor.
That's a fun one.
You know, just
so are we doing that or?
I'm thinking about it 100%, you know, like, but just to bring a single model intercessor, just to have like, cause you don't see those kinds of things. Like we have like our single model, we have our fantasy category. You have your Kill Team diorama and your Kill Team overall and stuff. But I don't think anyone's ever done just like a Space Marine painting competition as well, you know, like, and then we typically do like little packages to be like, hey, like if you buy 2 tickets, you get 2 other entries free for the Forge Brush and stuff like that. So we try to make it reasonable as well. So it's a really fun event, and the prizes are pretty big. And we have the Highlander Hobbies and Artist Opus and a bunch of other like painting competition people also like promote it. We're also going to try to reach out to a lot more different sponsors this year, like Anycubic, Frozen, and see if we can get some like 3D resin cast printers. This is just things that I'm going to try. I'm not promising anything anyone who are actually coming or thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, we've already sold quite a few tickets to the All Valley. So if you guys are interested in getting your tickets, you know, this time it will sell out. So don't waste time.
Let me tell you, as a not hyper competitive player who just enjoys playing the game, if you have not been to a tournament, or if you've been to a tournament and you've had a bad time, or if you're a constant tournament goer, go to the All Valley Team Tournament. If you got friends, bring them.
You'll have a good time. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually hit up Matt today. I was like, "Yo, Matt, can you look at the squad ops today? Because like I've had all these like rules lawyers that I know looking at this and like competitive players to make sure that it all works, right? But I need to make sure it's still fun." You know, like, so can you look at it?
I'm happy to be your sounding board on that aspect.
So he's going to look at that after this podcast. So it's going to be fun. Giacomo, I know we didn't even put the All Valley as a thing to talk about, you know?
It just came naturally.
Sure did.
Didn't need to.
I'm going to tell you right now, anytime I talk about Kill Team, I talk about the All Valley Team Tournament.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bring people over, have them come experience it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
6 games, 2 days.
Yep.
Prizes, tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we love it. The displays and everything. Some of my favorite parts. Like people really go out to do their stuff, you know?
Well, it's crazy because we'll have people come from like the Bay Area and they'll just bring like 3 like Kill Team boards and put them next to each other. And they build this whole scene because they're trying to win like best painted for the team, you know, because it's like judged via a team. And then they'll also bring like I think last year it was Nick, right? Nick Herdenstedt from up in the like up in the Bay Area. He came down with his team. His team didn't do particularly well in the painting competition that to my memory, but he won the best overall for the forged brush because his shit was solid, you know. No, was it Nick last year or was it
for the overall?
Yeah, did he won best overall, right? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I believe he did.
Mm-hmm. Because I think, and then there was a couple other prizes we gave out too, like best kill team and a bunch of stuff.
I'm looking at my desk right now, and I've got a Kit Bash team that I'm building for my brother. So he paid for it, but I'm building and painting it, and I am pushing for best kill team in the Forge Brush.
Hell yeah, dude!
That's all right.
These dudes are looking pretty freaking tight.
Y'all got till June.
Yep.
As I think out loud, though, they're orcs in red armor, so maybe it wasn't the best to have judged by Dakotah.
That's why we have multiple judges. Because
yes,
don't worry.
Sometimes if I look at a team and I'm like, I need Giacomo to look at this team too, but usually like if the colors are saturated enough, I can see the greens and I can see the reds, especially if I'm up close, because color blindness is worse at nighttime and it's worse at a distance. You know, if you're up close, you can kind of see them, but once you start mixing like browns and desaturated reds and desaturated greens, then like, you know, Matt, how I got like diagnosed with color blindness. I was in a painting, like a painting class, where we were painting on canvas, and my art teacher was like, "Well, you paint with a lot of primaries, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she didn't say anything else, and like we were supposed to go home and we're supposed to paint somebody, right? That was like our homework. So I went home and I painted my girlfriend at the time, but the rule was you're not allowed to use white and you're not allowed to use black. Every color you have to mix from red, yellow, and blue. Right. And I was like, yeah, I've been painting forever. This is going to be so easy. And I tell you what, without white, I could not make a skin color. I could not do it. I couldn't figure out like if I needed to add more green. And I spent like an hour just mixing until I had this big pile of just like violet. You know, and I was like, and then I just painted her as a violet woman, you know, and I was like, yep, or a magenta. It was like a magenta violet, you know, and I was like, yep, I don't know. If I added more yellow, it would turn her green or something. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. And then Giacomo still to this day tells me that olive skin tones have green in them. And I just don't believe him, you know, I just
can't see it.
I just don't.
You just got to believe me. I could be lying, but you know, I could be telling the truth.
Well, Giacomo's not a liar, so
that's also valid.
Yeah, but he also doesn't tell the truth all the time, Matt. Okay,
that's true. I'll keep the one thing hidden.
The one thing being that olive skin has orange underneath. Or
well, everyone's just a different shade of brown, Matt. Like that's all it is. Like I don't know what else to say. It's just like tan to brown. Like. But there is a reason. There is another reason why, like, I have to follow skin recipes when I'm painting skin because, like, Asian skin tones or other ethnic skin tones are actually really difficult for me to paint. Darker skin tones can be as well. So I have to be like, all right, what is this YouTuber telling me what 3 colors to paint? Okay, cool. I've gotten better. I've developed some of my own recipes based off of other people's recipes, but it can be difficult. It can be. And sometimes I'll paint something and I'm like, this doesn't look right. And then I ask Giacomo, does this look right? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay.
You feel safe.
I feel safe.
Okay.
Yes.
You trust him then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because I know where my deficiencies lie. I just never will. Giacomo's like, oh, on olive skin tone, I'll underpaint with green. And then I'll do all this other stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about? People aren't orcs, dude. Like, what are you doing?
They're not. But the lovely thing about color is it's color theory. Because you're right. If you pulled my skin back, it's just going to be red. Because I'll be bleeding. So
you're not wrong.
Oh, this has become a Night Lord's podcast. How about them murder wing?
Hey.
Yeah, everyone wants to ban them. But I don't think they've won any big tournaments yet.
No, not really. Right? I think people are still maybe thinking they're as super powerful, but make mistakes and then just get blasted, which can totally happen.
Oh, they're just really squishy, They got pretty close at ACO, but
sometimes they just don't pan out the way you think,
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. That's okay. Still a fun team if you like them. I think they're fun. I don't know if they're my favorite, but they're fun.
I'm looking forward to playing against them. That has not happened yet.
Yeah, Murder Wing currently have, and as long as David is doing the stats, or if the stats are updated for this weekend, because we're recording on Monday, so they might not be updated for this weekend yet. They still have 0 tournament wins, Murder Wing. Maybe everyone.
What's their win percentage at?
Their win percentage is at 58%. Wolf Scouts still have the highest amount of tournament wins with 5 total tournament wins. Canoptic with 2. Wrecker Crew with 2. Nemesis Claw with 2. Is there any other 2s out there? There's Sparstalker Kinban with 2. Felgor Ravagers with 2. AOD with 1. There's a bunch of... The meta actually seems... pretty healthy.
Yeah.
When you look at only that, if you look at actual win percentages currently, things do look pretty dire in Kill Team currently. Sorry, we went from beginner painting podcast to talking about stats. I promise we'll end this stat stuff quickly. So like Hunter Clade, Corsairs, and Commandos all have like under 20 games. So I'm not really going to comment on them too much. Those are all in the 58% win rate column at the moment, but or higher. I think Hunter Clade has 9 games total and 65% win rate, but that's way too little games to actually know. Canoptic Circle have a 58% win rate. Murder Wing have 58% win rate. Inquisitorial Agents have a 54% win rate, and everything else is quote unquote in the healthy area for Kill Team. Of course, we're really early on in this data slate, but it should be, we'll have to see from there outs. Yeah. So
can I just say that I had a teacher in high school, a history teacher, who anytime people wanted to distract him from having to do work, they would just bring up sports. So for Dakotah, if you ever want to pull him off track, just bring up stats, and all of a sudden we'll get deep into stats.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I try to stay educated on the stats. Even though stats aren't the perfect metric, or win rate's not the perfect metric to measure how strong a team is, it is important to keep in mind when you are thinking about the game critically. So, but yes, bring up stats and you'll distract Dakotah. So, Giacomo, what is another thing that we're going to talk about today?
One thing I wanted to bring up was where Worlds is going to be. It's already been announced, so we can talk about it more. Mm-hmm. It's going to be in Spain.
Yeah, Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
That's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Matt, if you win a golden ticket, are you wanting to go?
I definitely want to go. Now, can I afford to get to Barcelona? That's a different question.
That's fair.
Might require some GoFundMe's and some,
That'll be
some selling of great plastic. But if I got a golden ticket, I would try my best to make it to Barcelona.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think that if it's hard for me to get, if I'm not going in any other capacity, it's going to be very difficult for me to go to Barcelona this year, especially with having another kiddo coming along, like it'll be difficult. So I would also be in the same boat of, we'll just lump each other in together and we'll stay in the same room, Matt. How about that? If you get a golden ticket, we'll sleep in the same room. We'll fight. We'll get the plane out there and I'll stream it.
I think that's what all the American people need to do is just like find an Airbnb where 20 of you can stay in or something.
Yes. Yeah. Airbnb, a U.S. house in Barcelona where all the U.S. players are at.
Yep, that's what it is.
And then we can all go back and talk shit, or something. Who knows?
No, I think it's cool. It's at least to my knowledge, I don't remember where other worlds were outside of the U.S. So
there's never been a Worlds outside of the United States.
That's what I thought, right?
This is the first one, yeah.
This is our first time we're going to a different country altogether, which I think is good, right? I mean, it is Worlds, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's also kind of interesting because since Barcelona is a destination, right? The question is does Worlds for Americans become, rather than something that like if you win you can kind of just go to be something that's more of like a privilege, like if you're privileged enough to be able to go, rather than like kind of the best of the US going, and it's kind of like reversed because typically like you might see that with the Europeans or something like that, like like maybe they also do GoFundMes, so I think it's very valid that we kind of take turns for Worlds and travel to different countries and stuff. Like shit, I think it'd be awesome to go to Barcelona. I think it's awesome. What about you, Giacomo? Are you trying to win a golden ticket to go this year?
If I can, I think that'd be awesome. But realistically, I don't know how I would fund myself getting there. That's the big thing, right? Is like getting to Spain.
I actually looked up flights and they're only $800 there and back. And you know what's wild is that's the same price to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I know because I bought you, me, and Saya flights to Atlanta, Georgia for Worlds 2024. And they were $800 a pop, and I was like, wow, it's only $800 if I order my tickets today. Of course, we are in, like March, but that's besides the point.
Right. As you get closer and people have to decide, like, am I going to go a month away? We're going to charge you this much.
Yeah.
So,
and I wonder if December in Barcelona is like an off season.
It would have to be.
It would have to be, right? I don't know many people who want to go when it's cold.
Yeah, I think that would make a lot more sense. Most times that you see events run, they're usually in the off season of most places. So you could assume, other than San Diego Comic-Con, or something like super massive like that, but most people are trying to, make it, like most event organizers that are successful are trying to make it, in an off season so that it's more successful,
Yep.
For sure.
I don't know, but that I would assume, yeah. And the Spanish are all really good at Kill Team, and it would be really cool to kind of meet a lot of the Spanish community. I think that would be really, really a cool thing. Cause I've only ever got to meet like 8 or 9 different Spanish players over the past few years, maybe more than that because of LVO 2020, is it 2022? Yeah, LVO 2022. There's a couple different ones there too, but yeah.
And not even Spain, just Spain, because it's on continental Europe.
True.
So many other Europeans who maybe didn't have the funds to go to Atlanta will be at Spain. It'd be very interesting to see how that kind of shakes up what the player pool looks like.
Absolutely. And there's another thing that I've always noticed with this is probably America's year to try and do the best at Kill Team. So when I run events, usually the person with the most amount to lose kind of triumphs at events and kind of wins, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen this at LVO where you don't really see locals from the West Coast win the Las Vegas Open. You'll see somebody like Adrian Bonavento, who's traveled from New York, or Ryan Wolfong, who's traveled from Baltimore, or Ace in 2022 when he traveled from, Spain, right? At Worlds this year, Ace won as well. He traveled from Spain. Worlds last year, you kind of see Dan Barton. I think when you travel and you mentally prepare yourself more and you're on someone else's home turf, in Kill Team at least, maybe not in traditional sports, but you kind of see that people don't really have a home field advantage. It usually the advantage goes to the person who has the most to lose competitively, right? Like, I have spent so much to be here. I am locked in. I am ready to go. Meanwhile, somebody who only drove like 3 hours is like, it's not that big of a deal to them. You know what I mean? So it's a very fascinating kind of like look at the competitive culture when you kind of look at Kill Team to see like who has the most to lose. And then you can kind of sometimes predict, like, I wouldn't say like person wise, but you can be like, oh, that didn't surprise me. You know, that this person from so far came and won. If a local person won, then I would be surprised. Like at the last All Valley, right? We had the people who traveled from Oregon or Washington came down and won. You know, it wasn't the stereotypical like San Diego people. You know, they kind of grew complacent they thought they were cool and stuff, and then these guys came and knocked them off their throne. You know, so pretty interesting. It's hard to. That's the reason why you don't see a lot of back-to-back Super Bowl champions too, is because they've been there. They don't have that hunger. But
right,
yeah, it's interesting.
So then we're thinking Spain may not take it this year. It'll be a different country.
If I was a guessing man, I would say somebody from the US or from a different country would probably win Worlds this year. Somebody who had to, travel to be there.
Let's see Australia take it.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the first that Worlds too, right? In 2023 when Alexa came and won it, and I think he was going against Hava also for somebody from Spain, right? So like very rarely do we see, I think this is like the time that America has that chance to lock in and really try to win the world championships of Warhammer. So, and this year at LVO too, look at John Reese won, right? He traveled from the UK and he's never won LVO, So yeah, just things to be, it's an interesting TO's perspective, I guess, at winning events.
That is pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what you're saying coming true. A little a US winner at Worlds in Barcelona. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Could be Australia again. Could be, who knows? I just don't think that the home field typically has advantage, but I could be proven wrong this year. Out of all the other Worlds and all the other LVOs that I've ever hosted, I could be wrong.
I wonder if Barcelona is easier to get to for Australians than Atlanta, or if it's harder. I'm sure one of the Australians in the Discord will fill us in later on.
I'd probably say it's probably similar, right? I would assume it's probably. I mean, it might be closer, maybe.
I have no idea.
I liked Earth Science, but I didn't do a lot of ton of geography. I obviously know where the two countries are. I'm not saying I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't know in miles or kilometers for our European listeners how far each one is, and I'm not going to pull it up on Google. So we're just gonna. If you want to do it and you want to correct us, by all means. Well, actually, Barcelona's 326 miles closer to Australia, Melbourne. But if you fly out, be like, all right, dude. Cool.
Have we ever seen any Kiwis at Worlds?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe there was. I think I've met a Kiwi or two at Worlds. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. For people that don't know that, what Kiwis are native people from Australia. and the surrounding isles.
No, Kiwis are from New Zealand.
There you go.
Isn't that the same place? Oh my God.
No.
Wow. You were just talking about your geography knowledge.
I show how smart I am, and then I'm not,
Yeah. Shout out all my people from Aotearoa, New Zealand.
It's right off the coast of Australia, right? It is. Yeah.
I mean, they're very close countries. Yes.
Yeah, very close.
But New Zealand is not Australia.
I understand that, but they are the natives of.
They are not the natives either. The natives of New Zealand are the Maori.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
As a Polynesian, I got to stand up for my people and get the facts right. You know what I mean?
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I worked for an Australian in nightlife. Well, he was Czechoslovakian who moved to Australia, lived there for 20 years. And so I worked at an Australian bar, and there was a lot of Kiwis that I used to work with. So I did know this somewhere deep in my brain, and obviously I got confused. So I apologize. Good. They can take me down under and spank me upside down, because that's probably what they do.
You got to get to Worlds to do it.
You're not wrong.
Outside of Worlds, what else are you guys kind of looking forward to this year? Whether it's KTY's going to a tournament, maybe you want like a new thing or a balanced data slate change. I don't know. Personally, I'm hoping for more terrain. Tomb World's fine, but it is kind of just the Gallowdark refresh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind some more terrain. That's why I've been playing so much Alpha Betrium, the Beta Decima clone, so I could just try something that I don't really play very often. And it's been nice getting kind of like a refreshing board.
Well, you've also been practicing the squad ops,
I have, but specifically on those boards, because it was it's a little more fun.
Mm-hmm. For me, I'll go first before Matt. I think that I'm excited to see what the next terrain set is for Kill Team, specifically to see if I'm going to have to try and like collect it or make a copy or something like so. I don't know what, it's hard as a tournament organizer when new terrain formats come out, because you can only do so much. And for instance, I like Tomb World. I think it's good, but I do think that Gallowdark is better. I personally like Gallowdark more because of the doors and how they open. I do like the way that Tomb World goes together and puts together, but I'm a Gallowdark fanboy, I guess. And they're both basically the same. So when people are like, "Oh, you are playing Tomb World," it's like, "Well, they're the same thing, my guy." Can we stop?
They're very similar.
I think outside of teams and outside of rules, I really want an FAQ to come for Climb. I think that would be as just a Kill Team player, that would be nice. A new terrain set, I'm really interested in, whatever that's going to be. And obviously Catachan, and 3's up for Striking Scorpions. Those are my wish list items for Kill Team this edition. And Squad Ops. I think that Squad Ops is going to have a pretty big glow up. How about you, Matt?
Well, as far as new terrain goes, I mean, everyone's been clamoring, we're not even clamoring anymore, but the jungle terrain idea. If they do Catachan, how do they not do jungle terrain? A new box
by disappointing us like they always have, Matt.
I feel like they could do it right. Like they can make like a little oval shape that has trees built in.
Bro, if we get another like non-competitive map style that literally Next has to fix in order to make it like semi-competitive or just a competitive in general, and we get like I'm sorry, I don't want to be the TO to walk around to trees, Giacomo, and be like, "Oh, here's this oval thing. Does he have line of sight to my base with this laser line?" Bro, I'm Giacomo. Don't do no. Bad Giacomo.
They could totally do that because they've done it in the past before when I used to have the set. That's how you'd connect the trees to it. So like it's doable. They could make that mold. Now, would they do it? I don't think so. But that they could. I'm just saying they could. And one of the things I miss the most, and something I'm hoping that they do, I'm looking forward to, is in that first season of like the new Kill Team in 2021, we got Octarius, we got Nachmund, We got Morok. What was the other one that nobody really liked because it was too big? That one. Chalnath because it was too big. Like we were spoiled with terrain. Now, I'll admit some of it wasn't the best, but enough of it was good enough to put together. Obviously, Octarius was a standout.
No, it was not.
Octarius was amazing.
Octarius was good, yeah, but no, dude, Octarius had scramble terrain. What are we talking about? Octarius also had giant buildings, which is the initial core problem of all kill team map design is giant buildings, just like Volcus has the same thing. Whenever I'm playing on Volcus, I feel like I'm having a heart attack because all the fucking arteries are fucking clogged by all this plaque. And this plaque is made from plastic. Sorry.
Dang. Well, you're allowed to have your opinion. You can be wrong, but that's all right.
You're very wrong. Octarius was amazing.
Now, I don't love Scramble, but I did like at least that because I knew Scramble was kind of sucked, that you could at least dash and then Scramble charge. Which I wish they would do that for teleporters. Can I dash and then teleport charge like anything? Because teleporters, I think, still really suck. I don't think they're in a good spot.
Yeah. Well, I think we cut off Matt this whole thing. Matt, what were you saying? Sorry.
Well, I don't know that you said something bad about Octarius, and I was going to have all that.
He came after you, dude. He's ready to throw hands.
I mean, Octarius is way better than Volcus. Way better than Volcus. But different systems, different editions of the game. But I was saying, if they do Catachan, I don't know how they don't do a jungle terrain unless it's just going to be like jungle ruins, so we're not dealing with trees and stuff.
They could do that.
If they do an outdoor one that's jungle ruins, I hope there's more light terrain. It's a better balance.
What if they just bring back Octarius, boys?
But like,
you just besmirched its name, homie.
I'm just saying, what if they do?
I'm not against it. Honestly, we should get crates. I love the crate so much.
You mean like Crate City, Box City back?
Maybe not that much, but if you have like 2 or 3 crates to use, it's just nice. The crate is the best piece of terrain GW's ever made. You could do so much with that crate.
I'm not mad at that take. But if they do have a jungle themed terrain, what would be the second team if it was Catachans? I hear Exodites a lot. I don't know how I feel about that as a self-proclaimed elf hater.
I want that crocodile thing that's in Huron Blackheart. His whatever that crocodile race is. I want a team of that.
That would have to be another elite team, right?
Who knows? I don't know how good they are. Right? They could be a 10-man team of just like crocodiles.
I got one. Or release the new Rax and Grotesques and a new Homunculus and make like a Court of Pain.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, against like Exodites or something like that, that would go hard.
Yeah, because
they're not going to
those old models are really looking.
The what?
The old models of those are really like they're showing their age.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Grotesques are resin, right? At least. I think I'm not sure if I know some homunculi are resin as well, and then racks are plastic. But I think they come in like there's like a set of 5 for like $50 or something. Let me just double check so I'm not spreading misinformation.
I also what if they released the Court of the Archon? They re-release it as a kill team.
That could be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool if you do like a real Court of the Archon with like the Slith and all the other guys. I think that we're really like desperate for an elf team or some other not elite team. Like we.
You said we. I mean, you don't have to include me in desperate for an elf team.
That's fair.
I love you.
Yeah. So it's $60 for 10 racks. That's what it is currently. So, but yeah, but I mean, okay. Yeah, but they are plastic.
But I completely agree. Like another non-elite team. Can we see the meta shifting away from elite teams, like with the new edition? Not a new edition, but a new season.
Dude, if we get another Tau team, I might die inside.
That's we're counting the auxiliaries as part of the team, right? So
hell yeah, dude.
All right, just making sure. I was going to say because really there's only 2 technically.
I think that kill team could 100% go. Like I think 40K needs a new Pathfinder kit The Pathfinders are like showing their age really, really badly, kind of like how the old Guardians are starting to show their age, and they're just like tiny little dudes with hooves, and you're like, this is we could get some more detail in these little Pathfinders, and like I would really like to see, like, I like Tau, I think they're fun. I wouldn't play them, but I'd collect them and paint them, that's just off of principles. But that's not true. I played stealth suits in a Patreon battle report. I did do it. I did. But the more Tau that die, the better. So like if you don't like Tau and you play them and you're just like, oh yeah, well a lot of them died anyways. So like what's the problem? And then people are like, oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah. As long as elves keep dying too, I guess.
That's right.
That one's for Matt. I enjoy elves. I really like Dark Eldar. I think they're cool.
If I was going to play an elf team, I probably would play Hand of the Archon.
You should play Hand of the Archon now. That should be your goal.
Well, I can't take away from my boy Frenchie. He's out there maining the Hand of the Archon.
That's fair.
That's fair. Are you bringing orcs to the Boys Bash?
I am working on a Rekka crew kit bash right now. It's for my brother. When I was mentioning earlier, it's for my brother, but I will be playing this at the Boys Bash. I was planning on moving on from orcs. But I love Rekka so much.
It's also just the Boys Bash,
Yeah, no, I have to bring them to the Boys Bash. I was thinking about switching afterwards, but I was listening to Justin the Kill Team podcasts last night, talking about Rekkas, and I was like, oh man, I love this team. So we'll see if I move on. But I love my orcs.
Some people are just diehard one faction. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Play what you love, I
was diehard Vet Guard until they killed the team. Speaking of which, we should talk about like what people should do, like with teams that are declassified or, like that may disappear at the end of the edition, like I could only assume that's what's going to happen. Right.
I mean, it's an assumption. Like it might not. They might get rotated back in.
That'd be wild, dude. I'd be so hyped for that.
That would be wild, actually. Because realistically, like you retire them to NPOs, or you try to convert their oldest data sheet into whatever the newest edition might be. That's like the two options I think you could really do with them, right?
The other cool thing that you could do that I think would be sick, right? I think that you could start re-releasing some of these teams with a different upgrade sprue inside it. So now there's like two parts of an upgrade sprue inside it, right? So that, and then you could bring back actual roster building back to the game. You could like be like, okay, well, here's a different leader model in this Deathcore team. Here's a different this guy or this guy. Then you could just add on operatives back to a team, and you could refresh the rules so that the team is like more updated. Because when you see a lot of the teams today that come out, they're just like drastically different than last edition's first season teams, right? Like they're definitely getting outclassed with rules, different things and stuff like that at this point in time. So like personally, I would like to see that. I would like to see some of these teams come back and get kind of like a refresh,
I really like that idea, but can you imagine how many vet card you would have by the end of that?
Right, how much more things you have to add on to it? Like,
because how many vet card do you need now to have a full roster? Like to 18. Have every option, 18. You probably get another. I don't know,
5 different dudes.
Yeah, I think it'd be more than 5 to be honest.
I think I'm thinking about like what can they fit on a sprue? They could be more. It could be more like if it's just like different like arms and heads and stuff like that too. It could be cool. I mean, I would like to see them swap to a 2-box teams like as well. Like sure, you can build 1 box, like one team, because what we've seen, especially in this edition, is Kill Team is like you get 1 box, you make a team. Sure, sometimes you need another box if you want to make all the options and stuff. But like Giacomo has been saying this forever. He doesn't think that there's going to be any more 14-man teams released. And I kind of have to agree with him because I don't know if you can fit 14 models in a box. And all we've seen released this edition is like 1-box teams, especially with how many damn elites have come out.
And I think that might just be because they can release it as one box. That's all they need to do now. I think it's just the future of it, which I don't think it's a bad thing. You'll have 11 men when they can throw like a little pet in the team too.
Yeah, it kind of hurts my soul though, because like there's so much strategical variance with large with a large amount of operatives on your team. There's like such a strategic like difference in playing between the two, and there's another strategic variance while playing with these small teams. And like, I'm sorry, I've made Kill Team basically my life at this point in time, and like, I think like different teams provide different things. And if we're going to get rid of like these really large operative teams, it would kind of take away from some of the variants that we can develop ourselves to,
Yeah, I mean, I was saying it earlier. Hopefully, in the next season, maybe we'll move away from the meta being super elite. Maybe we'll get back to hordes having play, and maybe we'll get some teams that are real hordes. I mean, I agree with you guys that like the one box, it'll be very hard to do another 14-man team. But I'm kind of hoping it happens.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. Hey, who's to say? I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong about this prediction. They could totally be like, it's a 10-man team, but you can also take additional 4 guys by doing this thing or something, It's not unfair. Yeah. So why not, right?
GW surprises us all the time.
All the time with different things. So it just depends on it,
Mm-hmm.
Though I think it's a bright future, like Kill Team. It doesn't seem like it has endless possibilities, but 40K doesn't necessarily stop. It can always just keep going forward. So therefore, Kill Team can always just keep getting things.
Yeah, I think what's most interesting about Kill Team currently, especially with me developing Squad Ops, which is like an alternative way to play Kill Team, right? Like an alternative pack to follow, right? Instead of like your stereotypical approved ops. I think there's actually so much creativity and so much things that you can do with this game that are actually balanced and stuff. I think it's just limited to people's creativity, and like the developers have had a great amount of creativity thus far, and with a lot of the teams that have come out, but like that's something that's really interesting also about the game, right? Is that the developers have been so creative with a lot of these rules that I'm really excited about whatever comes next.
I mean, GW's constantly releasing new armies. I think all the new teams have been, stylistically, aesthetically very cool. There's definitely 40K is always going to need new cool units, and Kill Team is a great way to release them.
To introduce them into the game, and
so we're not going to be missing anything anytime soon. I think we're in a great spot.
Yeah, I thought it would have been cool to have like a Haran Kill Team versus like a Prince Ariel Kill Team, the pirates going at it, and then throw some free looters in there.
Yeah, that's been a rather popular thing that people have been talking about too, right?
Yeah, it's a really cool kit, and it's all like these unique characters from the books and stuff, and it's like, oh, well, why wouldn't this be a Kill Team? It's not though, so.
Oh, they haven't dropped any news about freebooters. Can you imagine they do a freebooters Kill Team?
Maybe. I mean, I mentioned it because in the book that came out for Maelstrom, freebooters are in there, Corsairs are in there, and Red Corsairs are in there. So it's just like, oh, it's all the pirates. Mine is Dark Eldar. No Dark Eldar.
Well, Corsairs count, right? Don't Corsairs count as both?
Yeah, they're a mix of both. So yeah, that's why I was telling my friend that, like, I think that's okay. So, like, it would have been cool to get some pirate teams this season. Maybe this year we'll get a pirate team. Who knows?
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, G, what else do we have to talk about tonight? Anything else?
I'm going to pull up this right here. I don't like where Deathwatch is because like AOD is better. And I play both teams. It's just one of those, like, I was playing the other day and AOD really, they really just like slap them. Like,
well, AOD was already pretty decent into old Deathwatch, even before Deathwatch had like their nerfs and stuff. It's just because like they have 6 bodies of 8, like they have so many wounds as just a team, you know?
Yeah, that's why it's one of those, like, you get that advantage of having the extra body, and 15 to 14 wounds isn't that much of a difference. Even if you take 18 wounds, that's not that big of a deal. Shoot it a couple times and charge it and beat it in melee.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think now, personally, Deathwatch could warrant getting a 6th model. Just because of how much they changed, where they kind of lose that advantage they had. That, or maybe you can activate another guy one more time. I don't know, something like, I don't know what they would do, right?
I don't know if they give him another model because it's 5 in the box.
Right, exactly. So you can't really do that. So I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, they're not doing too hot right now. Maybe AOD just needs to go down to 5 operatives. Who knows?
I mean,
that would kill the team.
I don't know if that's the answer.
having that 6th model really is what makes it win. I'm not against having a Deathwatch operative connect one more time or something.
I like where AOD's power level is currently, but I do know that it's really oppressive currently, you know, like, but it is what it is.
I mean, there's teams that beat it, right? Like another 6-man elite team could do it.
Like Murder Wing.
Murder Wing definitely could do it.
Wolf Scouts.
Wolf Scouts could do it, assuming that they don't misplay the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And, having that storm too, just to remove one of the 5 attacks the Assault Intercessors have is also pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Even Nemesis Claw is still good.
Yeah, even Nemesis Claw is still good too. Like they're very melee oriented. That's what they want to do. So yeah, it's still good. You know what rule I always forget about since you just mentioned Nemesis Claw? I forget about Midnight Clad all the time. I feel like it does nothing these days.
Did they nerf in Midnight Clad so you can't take it from below them? Like the cover from below them, so like they can't be on top of vantages anymore?
Well, they always needed to be within control range of heavy terrain or under a vantage to do it.
Okay, so control range, you can't see heavy through the vantage. So yeah.
Yeah, so you can still be obscured like a lot of the time, but I find when the games I've played, like it hasn't come up as much as I thought it would. Like back when it was only you had to be within 6 inches was a little easier to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like I don't know, it's just something I wanted to mention.
I think it's more of like a melee meta right now, which is powerful, but it's kind of flipped on its head because it used to be like a shooting meta and no one wanted to be in melee. And now everyone's figuring out that melee is actually strong, even if you lose wounds, yada, 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 But I do think that one of the reasons why melee is performing so well is for people new to Kill Team. And if you made it this far into the podcast, this might be news to you. For people that are not new to Kill Team, this is not news to you. Octarius was way more open. And in fact, if you had more heavy terrain, which I used to make maps with more heavy terrain that Octarius did by a little bit, right? And people would like complain, right? And then Volcus came out. And it's just like heavy everywhere. And the more heavy terrain you have on the battlefield, the stronger melee teams are, period. Giacomo, what do you think of that? Because it used to be back in the day, it used to be a shooting gallery a lot of the times because it used to be so much more light terrain. And now it's just like the kind of opposite. Kill Team went completely opposite in a different direction. And now it's just like all heavy, no light,
Yeah, I'll give you that. Like, people have been playing Volcus forever. So that's what we're accustomed to. And for the most part, Gallo Dark sort of does it the same because you can't use a vantage to get over your light terrain, so you can still hide behind light. So it really is let me get to here, then I can charge you in melee. And it doesn't help that a lot of abilities are really strong in melee, like just damage wise. So that's kind of the shift we had. Like, we definitely noticed it in the summer of melee. It persisted. Then we got like Goremongers are really good at doing it. You could argue playing like full Banshees for Blades of Cain is really good for it. Pretty much any Marine team is going to use melee at some point. Like, the bolters are there, but really the chain swords are what's ripping you apart.
Well, what's happened is that we've never actually left the summer of melee.
Right.
Summer of 2024. It just persisted. And then the thing is that Galadark used to be like the format that melee teams thrived in, Octarius was kind of like where they kind of struggled a little bit more. Nowadays, like Galadark is considered the lightest version of terrain, which is like an objective problem for the balance of shooty teams. Because I feel like with the addition of this team, I'm going to rant a little bit, just a little bit. You see a lot of like just lighter maps. Like, dude, when I made a double Volcus map, like I'm one of my map terrains that I make is called double Volcus. I think I have like 8 maps of it, and you take 2 Volcus terrain sets and you build 2 different tables with the terrain available. And I made a light version of it, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is way too much light." I was like, "What are we talking about, guys? Like, light terrain should be the same amount. Like, you should have more light terrain if you have less vantages, right?" One of the reasons why I think they put so much heavy terrain in Volcus is because there's so much vantage, which would break everything. But now we just have this thing that everyone just gets to run around and sneak around and never get shot until it's too late, which is not always the case. You can always find a shooting lane if you need to, but it is rather interesting.
Yeah. The state of terrain right now, which, again, why I'm kind of hoping for something new.
Do you think that Murder Wing is really broken on Beta Decima because there's no vantages to hide under?
That, and also you can like fly across the gantries, which.
But also typically on Beta Decima, there's nothing to hide behind when you're on top of Vantage either. I don't know about the necked maps.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't actually played very many necked maps, myself. I've played a couple, but not a ton.
Outside of the necked maps, like if you're playing just a regular one, which
is New England Kill Team, by the way, anyone listening who doesn't know.
Yeah, you will just die because there's times where like you miss position. And then you're like, oh, you're not in conceal, or even if you are, I'm on the same vantage as you, and you have no terrain, you didn't put any here, I'm just going to blast you, and you just get wiped. Yeah, so Beta Decima out the box needed to have some kind of railings, and they didn't do that. Sure.
Matt, have you played a lot of Beta Decima?
When it first came out, I played a bit with David because he had bought the terrain. And yeah, it was pretty impressive. I've seen the next maps in person. David's played them a few times, but I've never played them. But I've played Beta Decima with all the narrative terrain added on it, and it makes a huge difference. All that extra stuff is really, it makes actually a very cool map.
Yeah, I think the actual perfect Beta Decima map is when you have 2 sets of Beta Decima on the same map. It helps a lot when you have more things to do and more vantages to go from and yada, yada, yada. And it's just like without additional terrain, so necked maps are, they have like crates and barrels and other things that you kind of add to it to try and give a little bit more staging areas on vantages. Because typically Beta Decima is like, you can't get shot on the ground unless if you can, and then you can get shot on every vantage. And it's just kind of like, unless if you're near, used to be, unless if you were near objectives, So they've done their due diligence of making a good Beta Decima map pack for those interested.
Do you think that Octarius is too open for the current meta or the current teams?
No, absolutely not. The problem is that there's no rule for scatter terrain. So you have to replace scatter terrain probably with light terrain. But the problem is that like Marines are also just really good at shooting. Marines are really good at counteracting. So they're still going to do really well because if you're going to shoot them, they're just going to shoot you right back, because you're more than likely not going to kill them. But I think Octarius is definitely a viable way to play, but we're kind of stuck in this creative hellhole of a loop where players. So Games Workshop did this amazing thing. They developed maps that they think are balanced for the community to play on. It's a great thing for the community. The problem is everyone and their mom are just like, hey, and yeah, I mean, everyone's mom too. But like everyone is like, this is the way you play Kill Team. These are the maps you play it on, especially in different countries. They're just like Games Workshop stands and they're like unwilling to look at the game any other way. If you WTC, another great format, a ripoff of my old terrain. You have Octarius, also a very good format for Kill Team. And there's other terrain formats and other ways to play Kill Team that are not the stereotypical, just like Volcus Tomb World or Volcus Galadark, that is a great way to play this edition. And the game feels stale because of that,
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. If my memory is not quite accurate, I don't remember last edition of the game ever feeling that we got to a point where the game felt stale. Am I misremembering that?
Where you said where it feels stale?
Where it did not feel stale. Like right now, Kill Team feels a little stale.
Mm-hmm.
But last edition, I don't quite remember ever being like that.
So it got to a point where everyone was upset with the Commandos being so good and Colts being so good. We call it the summer of melee. And then everyone just didn't play Commandos and everyone was waiting for Commandos to get nerfed. That was probably like the most them and Felgor. It was kind of like,
that's why I don't remember because I was a Commandos player.
Yeah. The problem, I think the problem is like, yeah, but you never sneaky gitted 3 times up the middle of the battlefield to throw dynamites at people, right? Like you weren't that Commandos player. Were you, Matt?
I might have done it. I just didn't do it effectively.
That's fair. So like, I don't think that I think this edition feels stale for one specific reason. And that's because we have 6 maps that people typically play on from the Games Workshop mats. They are 3 objectives. So every single game, no matter how the terrain is placed, feels the same, right? It feels like we're just playing League of Legends over and over and over. And I like League of Legends, but there is an 8-inch zone of engagement between all of these objectives if you just measure it on a line. And that's kind of where Kill Team is played currently, and it's like, that's, in my opinion, the reason why Kill Team feels stale. And the squad ops are going to be an attempt to fix that.
As I think about that, like last edition, there were a ton of different map packs out there.
There were.
And there's not now.
Yeah, but that was also a cool thing. You got to go to different events
and
play on different terrain and different things, and that's what was like, oh, I got to figure this out. I got to practice for this event now. I got to go to this one and practice this. And while it's great to have these references and have these things, it's hard when people just play this specifically, I haven't really. So I think one of the other reasons why LVO has been so successful is the fact that LVO's kind of always done a little bit of an alternative format with terrain and stuff like that, that people are like, oh yeah, I don't have to play Octarius. I got to go to LVO and play not Octarius. Cause there was a lot of people were really sick of Octarius by the end of the last edition. And it shows that we're only 18 months into Volcus and people are like asking for Octarius to come back. I do not I have like a memory like a dwarf, right? I don't forget those things. I remember my grudges. Into the grudge book it goes, Octarius. Yeah, it's interesting kind of seeing some of this. I think people are just bored, of, I wouldn't say everyone. Obviously, I think the game is also in a very great state of play currently. But also we're like 6 months away from the release of approved ops. Everyone's kind of got a hold of the ops and all that kind of stuff. And everyone's like, all right, when's the next thing coming out? Everyone's kind of in that hurry up and wait mode that ADD people typically go through, especially like me,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another thing.
Well, I'm looking forward to the squad ops.
Yeah, you got to see them tonight.
A little bit of a change. I'm in.
Yeah, they're going to be, they're great. It's going to be a great change,
Yeah,
it's going to go off like a hand grenade. Giacomo, if you could, how excited are you? Without spoiling too much of Squad Ops, I can definitely say it's 5 objectives. With new maps and all that kind of stuff. A different kill op, very very cool changes. What do you think? Playing it a couple times.
The things I'd want to share would spoil too much. So I can say confidently that I enjoy the way it plays right now. It's good. It's very different. And I do really mean very different. Like, there's still the same way you score points as normal. But because of those changes, it has a different style than what I would do if I was playing on like the 3 objectives. And it kind of revitalizes how I try to play the game. So I enjoy it very much.
It's very nostalgic, certain things,
Yes. You'll get more of that soon.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I've released some of it to our patrons, and it's changed a lot since then, but yeah, it's going to be cool. Is there anything else? Matt, do you want to talk about anything?
I just wanted to hop on and talk to my boys.
Hell yeah, dude.
Talk about some Kill Team. Need a distraction from life. You know what I mean?
I get that. Mm-hmm. We all need it. That's why we do it, right? We go to our third spaces, hang out with our friends we don't see as often. It's what we do for hobbying,
Exactly. Absolutely. I think we have one more topic to discuss, G. Your modeling for advantage topic.
Oh, yeah. Let me pull that one up. One sec.
I can tell you right now that these records that I made are modeling for disadvantage.
Well, that was just a little thing I wanted to say. But really what it is I was talking with some friends about hobbying, and I always go back to the conclusion that I think a skirmish game, regardless of whichever one you play, can give you a really high level of expression for your teams, factions, whatever, in whatever game, just because you have such a small amount of models. And let's say you're doing like a crazy theme, right? Let's look at Melty, a community member out here who did his recas by cutting out all the orc parts and making them invisible. Like, that was awesome for one team. I would never expect them to do that for a whole army. Like, that would take forever. But he was able to do that, with 8 models and have a really good time with it. So like, there's a lot of that, this creative space you can have and really like fine tune it into the small amount of models you have to build, which is something I really enjoy about the skirmish hobby in particular. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite things.
It's the reason I'm so excited. I was so excited about Kill Team. The idea of painting an entire army is wild. And then I always want to personalize everything. So like to have a kit bashed entire 2,000 point army is ridiculous. Like, shout out to people who do that. But having 11 dudes, 14 dudes at the very most to
at the very most.
All right. You've never played that before. Currently viable teams. But like having like those amount of dudes to be able to kit bash and personalize and like just really show off your skills. And then also not being tied to one team, to be able to do that with multiple teams and like get all of your hobby ADHD out of the way and, scratch all the itches that you want to. Skirmish is the best for that reason alone.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's why I'm a fan of that.
Mm-hmm. I'm also a fan. I have a couple ideas that I want to do and float around and stuff like that. And maybe I'm not going to bring Blades of Cain to the NorCal Open because that's my next event I'm going to go to, shout out to them. I'm probably going to, I might bring AOD and I might revisit Lieutenants of Death, pull them back out of the closet and paint them, we'll see. It might be less painting than having to paint a Blades of Cain, but I also want to finish my Blades of Cain. So I don't know what I'm going to do, Depends.
Yeah.
I have paralysis.
I'm with you on that. I'm finishing this record team right now, but I've got a bunch of half-finished teams on my desk that I'm staring at, and it's like, ooh, where am I going to go with this?
That's fair. I think that's very fair. I'm looking at a half-finished Ravener team too that I need to finish too. So I've taken the 2-week break to finish the squad ops, and then I'm going to go right back to painting. It's funny because I have like my Celestian incidents like right next to like my unfinished Raveners. So I'm like, all right, these women are done now. Come on, Dakotah, let's finish the Xenos scum. Scum in a good way. Good way.
I mean, that's the other thing is right, getting time to paint all your teams, right? Like I still have a bunch that are sitting in boxes that are like, well, not boxes, they're at least like partially assembled, and then it'll just maybe one day they'll get to the prime booth.
Yeah, it's also difficult as a TO is because like I'm gonna have to get together another painting day for community painting day and just be like, all right, guys, we have 6 sets of Tomb World to get through, and I took me like 4 days to do one. Do people want to come over and help?
Yeah,
maybe we can get some of these closer to being done, but yeah, we'll see.
We got your back, man.
Yeah, I know. Got the homies.
I'm Samoan. You bring pizza. I'll work for food.
That's fair. And then we also got to set up some more Patreon filming battle reports and stuff like that. So yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff coming forward, and hopefully you guys all enjoy it. If you guys made it to the end of the podcast, hopefully that is something that you guys are also excited about,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do some shout outs before we head out?
Yeah, I'll start. Shout out Squad Games. I know there's people who are listening to your podcast who have never been to a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Just try it. Don't be scared. Go. You'll meet new people. You will learn more about the game than you ever have because you're playing 3, 4, 6, 9, 11 games in a row. And also follow your boy on Instagram, Matt Paints Small Things, or Samoan Matt. Those are both my accounts on IG.
Hell yeah.
Nice. For me, you can join the conversation by joining our Discord. As always, there's the Squad Games Discord. Let's see. Go to our most latest tournament. That's going to be the Boys Bash. It's going to happen on the 14th. That is about a week.
Me and Giacomo are literally dressing up like orcs.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
The orc Giacomo and the orc Dakotah do not come back for 365 days, y'all. This is your chance. You could make fun of us to our faces.
Be fully prepared to hear the worst, most inconsistent orc accent.
Yeah, orc. Yeah, you're not wrong.
That I love to hear.
Exactly. We're doing it for fun, and also golden tickets.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of your first chances to win a golden ticket if you're thinking about going to Spain, or if you want that glory. This is your chance to do it right now, and of course, more chances will appear. But this is the most up and coming one, so consider that if you're in the Southern California area or if you're nearby. Again, that is the 14th. You can get tickets on our website. That's squad-games.net/events, and you'll find it there.
Yeah, and this is going to be a best overall golden ticket event. So we're giving it out to 2 of the best overall people. So we are specifically looking for hobby and how well you do at the event rather than just placing first. because it is a very weird and fun format. So if you guys want to hear more about the format, I think you have to go back to 2 episodes before this, but it's going to be using all sorts of fun things, different competitive maps, different stuff. It's going to be a good time. So we need to normalize having fun in Kill Team and not just sticking to the generalized formats that are, of this game. That they have their place, but also everyone, like play Kill Team like you're having fun. Pretty simple.
That's why we're here, right?
Hell yeah, that is exactly why we're here. So, but yeah, that's it from me. That's my shout outs. And thank you everyone for listening and tuning in and making it to the end,
I love all of you.
Love you too, man.
Love you too, guys. Catch you later.
Yeah.
The Squad Games Podcast is a production of Squad Games Entertainment. For more information on Squad Games, please visit our website at squadgames.net or check out our YouTube channel at Squad Games Entertainment.